Good morning, students. So here you have your math assignment for Tuesday, November 3rd. And after you complete your review exercises and speed drills, you're going to complete this review. All of these are reviews of the fractions that you've learned over the past week. So you're just going to do a combination of fractions with like denominators and fractions with unlike denominators. So what you have to pay close attention to are the symbols. Make sure you know whether you're subtracting and adding. First, make sure that you're subtracting and adding your fractions first after finding the least common denominator. So you might have to go back into your book if you forget a few steps. And of course, I will be available to help you if needed. But just remember that each of these fractions might have a different step or a different routine to find the solution. So here for our first samples, for example, we have here unlike denominators. So the very first thing you're going to do is find the least common denominator of 2 and 4. And then you will subtract. Remember that if your number ends up being too small to subtract, you have to borrow from the large number. Here for your second sample, you also have another one that you have to find the least common denominator first. But this time you're adding. So it's important to do them slowly and step by step and show your work. Remember that when you have like number 4, a whole number, but you're subtracting, you have to come up with first a fraction that you can subtract from. So that means you have to take 1 from the large number and make a fraction. So don't forget to do that with these whole numbers that are on their own. And then here, when the whole number, for example, for number 8, when you have a whole number that's on the bottom, you don't need to do that. You can simply subtract the whole number. So these are just a few hints that we went over before. Of course, if you have like denominators, you don't need to find one. You can go directly to adding your fractions first. Always remember to change improper fractions to mixed numbers and then reduce if necessary. I will be available after our Zoom session tomorrow for math if needed. So please let me know tomorrow at 11 if you need to stay for some math help. And here for our language arts assignment for Tuesday, we still have a continuation on our remember section. So we're still reviewing different compound verbs, simple subjects, compound subjects, and just reviewing what we have learned before we start our new unit. So here you're just going to do an exercise for write. You're going to change this declarative sentence into an interrogative sentence and an imperative sentence. So all that means is that after you read this sentence, you're going to change the sentence and make it into a question. And then after you do that, you're going to make it into a command. Then afterwards, on our remember exercise, on your paper, so you're going to use the same piece of paper, you're going to capitalize all of the proper nouns from the following list and then write them in one column. After you write all of your proper nouns in one column, you're going to write your common nouns in the second column. Remember that proper nouns are the names of nouns. So make sure that you capitalize those. For our simple and compound subject section, you're going to underline all of your verbs 2 times, all of your subjects once, as usual, and then S for simple and C for compound. So we went over this last week and we did quite a few exercises on this. So if you need to go back to review, then I suggest that. And then here on the bottom for simple and compound verbs, you're going to do the same. Underline your verbs 2 times and your subjects once, and then write S in the blank if the verb is simple, and then C if it's compound. So if you notice that the predicate, the second part of your sentence, has 2 verbs, then you know that that's a compound verb and you're going to write C in your space. And now here for your spelling assignment, we have vocabulary as usual, as we have on our second day. So remember to write your vocabulary words, the last 4 words in your list, in correct spelling neatly. Make sure you look them up in the back of the book in your spelling dictionary, that you complete your sentences and then do your multiple choice. So definitely read them out loud, understand what each means before you complete them, as the pairs in these words can be very similar to each other. And then join me on Zoom at 11 so that we can continue our Bridge to Terabithia. We did not finish chapter 1, so we are going to finish chapter 1 and perhaps go over a little bit of our Shakespeare passage. So bring your book if you have it, and I will see you then.